Kings don't chase a peasants. Kings chase kings. That was the word from Deontay Wilder. When he asked about Dillian White calling him out, that was his response. And what he was doing is he was placing his standards really high. It wasn't anymore of, and this was before the Luis Ortiz fight. He wanted Joshua. And since the Joshua fight, what is not happening right now, he has Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is the lineal champ. So, it's the best fight that you can make besides the inevitable fight. This here is the official fight study between the two fighters. Tyson Fury, 6'9", Deontay Wilder, 6'7". 83-inch reach for Deontay Wilder, 85-inch reach for Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury last night, because that's when he fought Pianeta, he came in at 258 pounds. When he fought Klitschko, he was at 246. When he fought Sharif or Safiri, he was 276 pounds. Okay, that's going to be, a big factor in the fight. Deontay Wilder, 215, 220. He's a really slender guy. He's built like a basketball player, on roids. He reminds me of a basketball player on juice. Not saying he's on juice. He's powerful. He's a powerful basketball player. You know what I mean? His physique. That's almost like if Tim Duncan wanted to box. And then actually he was considering boxing back in the day, He'd been like a Teofilo Stevenson or something like that, an anomaly of the sport if that would have happened. But that's what he reminds me of. And both guys have similar physical, well, not physical traits, but, the athletic ability, the speed. They both have speed in their department. They both have technique. It's unorthodox technique I'm talking about. One of my friends on the channel, he said something very interesting. He said parables. Deontay Wilder is chaotic, fire, strong. Fury, wiry, water, able to adapt. Joshua, strong, slow, and like a tank. And it's these parables, it probably wasn't like that, but I know Joshua and Fury's was definitely like that. It just shows the characteristics of these guys' style. So you got a guy chaotic, fiery, versus a guy that can adapt like the nature of water, like Bruce Lee. And I mentioned Bruce Lee to Deontay Wilder, but I think Tyson Fury fits the bill because, he's a big dude that can move like that. That's a scary thing. That's almost like a bear that can run 30 miles an hour, which they can. That's why I was always scared of bears when I was young. Because the idea of something that big that weighs that much that can move that fast is a disturbing thing to me, and that can do that type of damage to you, of course, right? So, if it catches you, So they both have the speed. The combination, the punch variety belongs to Tyson Fury. However, he's not the power puncher. The power puncher belongs to Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury reminds me of a machine gun. A semi-automatic machine gun. Deontay Wilder reminds me of a shotgun. He has that one shot. If he catches you with that one shot, you're gone. Man down, right? So it really depends on how the fight is. I see this fight, and I've kind of broken down, over all the debacle and the debates through this, but this is the official fight study, and I see Tyson Fury. Now that's granted, if any given round, if he gets hit with that shotgun, you know what I mean? That thing Deontay Wilder does, he did it in the Luis Ortiz fight, it was amusing. You know what I mean? It was a trip. I laughed when I seen it. I was like, oh God, he's cocking that right. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what it is. He's cocking it like a double barrel, or like a pump shotgun, right? Cock it. And then he was ready to launch it off. You know what I mean? And it eventually hit his target, and this target was down, and this target was Ortiz. So that's if he gets that off. He doesn't get that off, it's going to be a normal fight, and Tyson Fury can control that fight with a jab. You know what I mean? Like he did Vladimir Klitschko. You know what I mean? So it's not hard to outbox Wilder. It's not an impossible task. The only thing is it's time. Now what Deontay does, he will get mad or whatever and feel that he's behind on the scorecards. And he will get rowdy. He will get wild. When he gets aggressive, he gets wild. You see the wild part of him, that backyard after school fight side of him. You know what I mean? That fight with sticks, stones, and bottles in the alleyways mentality comes out in Wilder. He doesn't care where he hits you, how he hits you, he's going to hit you. And that's what happens. When people say the windmill or whatever, that's what they're talking about. He's going to throw. He's going to start throwing. That's the problem with Fury. Can Fury withstand that, being such a big target? I know he can move. He's going to need it. Again, he's going to at least have to be 240 pounds to move around like that and get away from that onslaught from Wilder. If Wilder, granted, doesn't knock him out or gets behind on the scorecards. Because if he gets behind on the scorecards, Wilder is going to do exactly what his name represents. Get wild. So, and until that comes. So the game plan, I think, of course, this would be phenomenal if Tyson Fury somehow rallied a knockout, to Deontay Wilder. But I just don't, he's just too tough. You know what I mean? He is, in retrospect, in comparison, George Foreman. Look at George Foreman when he fought Ali. You know what I mean? George Foreman was 40-0 with 35 knockouts. What is Deontay Wilder? 40-0 and 39, right? Yeah. So yeah, they had the equal amount of fights, and they were going against the underdog, which Ali was the underdog. So, I'll amuse that, that analogy. You know what I mean? I'll amuse it. But it's like, if Tyson Fury knocked out Deontay Wilder, that would be something I just would not see. You know what I mean? And if whoever had the balls to put money down on a fight like that from, Fury from a knockout, oh man, blessings be to him. You know what I mean? Because that is just something that no one saw. But one thing I will say about Tyson Fury, he is fearless. They both wear their heart on their sleeve. These guys, they get really personal. The pushing, the shoving. You'll see more of that. The mind games will continue. And I think it's really fortunate for Fury to turn this fight around, because it's not really necessarily Deontay Wilder, accepting the challenge. It's really that, Fury's accepting the challenge for his lineal championship. You know what I'm saying? Because he, the way it's even worded, the way he words it, it's marketable. You know what I mean? I allow him for my linear, title, to be the lineal title. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wow, okay, that's how you do it. That's more mind games. That's already showing, your, superiority in there. You know what I mean? And showing who you are and where you stand, for what your title is. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it being a good fight. That's however long it lasts. I think this fight should have been fought later on. I think Wilder should have fought AJ before ever fighting Fury, just so there wouldn't be any excuses. But that's me. I try to make sense out of things. You know what I'm saying? I don't ride sides. I don't do this. I don't do that. You know what I mean? It might appear that way, but I just speak the truth, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's not, a lot of people get on this channel and then, if you don't talk in a certain way or a certain pattern to fulfill or, that sides with one fighter, that's what you're going to get. You know what I mean? So fortunately, if you like unbiased, see, people don't know what that means. They don't. They can't know what that means. If you talk about one fighter, then you talk about the other fighter. You talk about them equally. That's unbiased. That's what we're doing here on Counterpunch Boxing News. You know what I mean? But back to the fight study with Fury and Wilder. You know, I think. Well, Fury looked. I don't know. I know he was faster than Deontay, but I'm not sure now. I think Deontay is. I know he's physically stronger. I think he's a tad quicker, but they both have speed. It's like Mayweather and Manny. You know what I mean? Who's faster, really? You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I look for a good fight. I look for a good fight. You know, but a question will be answered about Fury's chin. You know, will Fury, will his beard hold up to those punches? If his beard can hold up, hey, you'll see a whole different fight. You know what I mean? But we'll see. But Wilder, I think that Wilder's going to be in shape, So he's going to be ready. He's going to be looking for the knockout. So that's what's going to make the fight dangerous from rounds 1 to whenever it lasts. You know what I mean? Because, again, skills don't pay the bills for him. Will pays the bills for him. So he doesn't even look at it in a strategic-like setting anyway. We've got that out of the air. So we can't really talk about Wilder and what Wilder's going to do. He's just looking for the knockout. But you know what happens when you look for something that's not there, you're going to have a long night. So I will leave it with that. You guys tell me what you think about this fight study. I want to mind you something I did think about before wrapping up. A lot of people really never went to Wilder's body. Wilder has a long, wiry body, and getting to that body, it takes a lot of sacrifice. That's why people don't do it. But I think someone tall like Fury, he could care to jab downstairs without getting countered. But it's just a thought, but combinations, using the ring, he should be fine. Stay away from the right hand, because that's basically all you have to watch out for Wilder. Because fortunately for him and unfortunately for him, fortunate for him, he has that knockout power. Unfortunately for him, he only has it in one hand. He's a one-sided fighter. He throws the left, but the left really doesn't do anything. And the left just sets up the right. Everything sets up the right. The jab, or the right uppercut. But it's still the right hand. He's a one-sided fighter. All his power is right here. You know what I mean? So, that's what he has, and that's what he's looking for. Tyson Fury, I see him using the ring, using combinations, staying away from the right, and try not to get knocked out. But anyway, that's me wrapping it up. You guys tell me what you think about this. Please subscribe, hit the bell icon, and you guys been counterpunched. Peace.